Bitcoin hits $100,000 per coin. How did my short go today with MSTR? Again, like I've said, I love to show you guys my green days and my red days. If you're part of the LPP team, you already know that I'm trolling because we did $3,392.64. I left myself with my one lucky share. I have told you guys so many times, just like I showed you guys yesterday, I do not carry any of my short positions overnight. So in today's live trading session, when we watched the CPI data report come out, there was a quick gap up with MSTR. I had no position, right? So again, one of the biggest things is you have to respect that there's always two sides to every opportunity. And I wasn't surprised that MSTR gapped up because it wasn't just MSTR, it was the entire market, right? The market reacted in a very positive way because the inflation report came in a little bit cooler than what was expected. We originally came in, core CPI came in a little bit cooler than what was expected. Expectation was 3.3, we came in at 3.2. Expectation for core overall inflation, I believe, was 2.7, and we came in at 2.9. So, expectation was 2.9, we came in at 2.9. So we came in as expected for the month of December, increasing by 0.4%. Nonetheless, market reacted in a positive way. It makes sense. Market was a little bit more on the oversold side. You can't be surprised with that. MSTR, well, how could I possibly have made any money? Well, remember, I don't carry any of these short positions overnight. There's one thing that we all know is that, again, Bitcoin is very trendy. There is a lot of crypto bros out there right now, and they want to push these stocks and these coins higher for longer. And especially with cooler inflation, it kind of does support the case that, hey, this is a pretty decent, a risk appetite for high risk kind of options like, crypto and MSTR. So it doesn't really surprise me that it reacted in a positive way. We've seen this many, many times with MSTR. It has a common support range of 300 and a common resistance range of right around 400. So if anything, as this thing began to push up, it kind of excited me because, again, the more overbought it becomes, the more margin there is for a potential pullback, because we know one thing is certain: crypto and Bitcoin always come crashing down. It's not an if, it's not an opinion, but it's a matter of when, right? Because eventually it will come crashing down. And even with small corrections, there's a lot of money to be made. I respect that a handful of you guys do not like to short crypto. I want to remind you that I'm not against you because I'm shorting. I see there to be an opportunity, and just how you're trying to make money going long, I'm trying to make money going short, right? And we're playing with what the market is giving us. And if you pay attention to the market with its lows and its highs, there's a lot of money to be made if you know how to play both sides. And that's essentially what I did today. If you look at the 5-minute time frame, we let this thing rip up. It came back to retest previous highs. We waited for confirmation of this reversal. Again, if you're part of my LPP team, you know the 3 stages of reversal. Once we got that confirmation, I opened short, added more to it, covered short at previous lows. I think I made 2K on that trade. And then it ripped back up again, became overbought. I opened up a small short, making me another $1,000, $1,300. Overall on the day, $3,300, shorting the highs to the lows of MSTR. And I'm able to do that even when MSTR is bullish, because again, MSTR, and this is my opinion, I believe it's an overhyped up piece of shit company that is solely running off of the hype of Bitcoin. Now, again, if you're a Bitcoin investor and you purchase that 20, 30, 40,000, great for you. You're investing into the asset and you can tolerate the pullbacks. But when MSTR itself is trading at a multiple of what it carries in Bitcoin, when it goes from $50 to $500 within a very short period of time, again, there's a lot of, I don't want to call it manipulation, but there's a lot of hype being factored in. There's a reason it went from $548 per share all the way down to $288 just within a few weeks, because it was overvalued. Any company that crashes 50% is not a normal company, right? So with that being said, these pullbacks, I made a little bit of money today, but this is nothing in the grand scheme of things, because first off, I wanted to show you, I carry no open short other than my one lucky share, because I know that Bitcoin can continue to push up. Right now, Bitcoin's kind of like lingering right around 100,000. And I have to give it the benefit of the doubt. It would be naive for me as a trader to be like, no, this thing has to crash tomorrow. No, it doesn't. I can't predict the future, right? It's like the opportunities are not on my schedule. They're not on your schedule. Just like all these crypto bros are like, no, this thing's going to $125,000 per. No, it doesn't, brother, right? We all know that, right? It has its rallies, it has its pullbacks. It's really important to respect and understand the overbought and oversold levels. You can choose to trade or hold this however it is that you see to be fit. But again, on the 1 hour time frame, I think it's very easy to see the high points, the low points, the high points, and the low points. And as it becomes more overbought, what do you think? Do you think I'm really going to get mad that, oh, Bitcoin's pushing up? No, I get excited. Just like how maybe some of you guys get excited, really, if you're a true crypto bull, when markets pull back, right? Put your money where your mouth is. You want to buy at these oversold levels to make money when it recovers. That's when money is made, right? Well, it's the opposite for me when it comes down to shorting. I like when it pushes up because I have more downside risk or downside potential for Bitcoin. And we all know that when Bitcoin begins to pull on back, then so will MSTR. And again, I don't have to carry a position overnight for this to happen. This thing can continue to rip up to 390, maybe even 400. Then at that point, I can just wait for the market open. I can trade live with my LPP team. And once the opportunity presents itself and it begins to fall off the cliff, then again, I can short this thing back down to 300, working with that 20% margin. And 20% is a lot of money for me when it comes down to trading with, $250,000 to $500,000. So I'm super excited to follow up. I want to give credit where it's due. Yes, markets are bullish right now for crypto. There is a positive sentiment because of the CPI data report coming in a little bit lower than what was expected. So the appetite for risk was a little bit greater. Let this rip up. I don't care if you're a bull. I don't care if you're a bear. You have to respect the trend. Let this thing push up as high as it needs to. Wait for indication of a resistance. And then when it begins to fall, then we choose to strike. The bulls can make their money and the bears can make the money as long as you do one part. You're not greedy and you know when to take profits. But of course, if you're a bag holder and you ride the wave, then I can see why it's so infuriating for you when you see me short. And even on a green day for MSTR, that I made $3,300 because it's your inability to be able to accept that, hey, we are lacking progress, big picture, and maybe the idea of taking profits isn't the worst idea. I would rather be someone that makes a few $1,000s each day than makes nothing at all. And again, that's just my cup of tea. That's how I choose to approach the market. And that's why my LPP team likes to watch me trade live every day, is because again, we wait for the setups that make sense to us. We don't hope for something to happen. We wait for them to present themselves. I appreciate your time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. If you ever have any questions about watching me trade live, second link in the description down below. It's a huge discount. You can sign up right now and watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow when the market opens. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.